The Stewardship Committee wants us to think about more than giving generously to the church, but living generously in every aspect of our lives. Today, I want to talk about relational generosity, a time when I experienced a deep level of God's grace toward me, and the gratitude I felt that made me want to share that grace with others. This is a story about forgiveness and the resulting healing it brought. The story I'm about to share with you all started with a single invitation. It was an invitation from women I hardly knew at the time, but now consider my beloved friends. Thinking back, I realized that my journey with Christ has been a series of invitations, His invitations. In the spring of 2007, I was invited to attend a Beth Moore Bible study, and as a result of that invitation, a small group of us began an intimate journey with Christ and with each other. It was the beginning of friendship with women I had hardly known, only as Sunday acquaintances. I want to share a very personal story with you that happened to me during one of those Bible studies. It's a lesson I will never forget. The lesson was entitled, God is expecting your unexpected. This lesson was about manna. In this lesson, Beth pointed out that our daily bread is about daily relationship with God so that we can be in right relationship with others. The manna is about something only being served up fresh each day, and it is our responsibility to get up and gather what is in perfect proportion and waiting for us. I learned that it is critical that we do not store up things and that we bring our emotional stuff, disappointments, anger, unforgiveness, into the light before God every single day. Advice: don't wait until you're in a mess to bring your hurts or your pain before God. As an example of this, Beth told a story about a woman she was assigned to help during the devastation following Katrina floods in New Orleans. The woman's family had told Beth that the mother had remained strong, resilient, persistent, diligent during the aftermath of the flood, and that she had her handicapped son, and they had been rescued from the roof of their home. They were together at the Houston Astrodome with only the clothes on their backs. Beth spent the day with the woman, taking her to get provisions for her family, and when they returned to the Astrodome, the National Guard searched her bags before allowing her to re-enter. That is when they told the woman that she was not permitted to take a bag of Skittles that she had purchased into the Astrodome. Beth describes the moment after they told her this in great detail. Needless to say, the woman fell apart, cussing the guardsmen, ranting and wailing over Skittles. Actually, it really had very little to do with Skittles. She had stored up all of her frustrations, fears, anger, and grief, and had been strong through it all, and when it was now experiencing an event of exploding over Skittles, or what we commonly say, experiencing the straw that broke the camel's back. Our personal Skittle moments can come with devastating consequences in our personal relationships. Now for the application of this to my life. God was indeed expecting my unexpected. I had been listening to this lesson in my car over and over that summer. I was visiting a friend in Pinehurst when I received unexpected and devastating news. My mother had died. I returned to High Point, packed my bags, and headed to Tryon, North Carolina. My Aunt Mabel, mother's sister, was waiting for me when I arrived. My daughter Curry, driving in from Boone, arrived shortly after I did. That evening, still in shock, we went to dinner, and I chose to play them the story about Skittles. I really think I needed to hear it again because later that night I spoke with my brother on the phone, and during the conversation he asked where he could stay when he came down to Tryon. Answering his own question, he said, "Oh, I'll stay in Mom's room." I explained to him that there wouldn't be anything left in Mom's room. I needed to pack up her belongings and move her personal items out. He replied angrily, "Well, you don't let moss grow under your feet, do you?" There it was, my opportunity to put into practice what I had been learning, my invitation, Skittles. I wanted to say, "Who do you think is going to pack up her belongings? You're not here. It's all up to me to do it." The pain of my unexpected moment was great. When I lay down that night and the grief settled in on me, I made a choice to trust God with my pain and forgive my brother for what he had said. I didn't want to hold the anger close. I didn't want to have anger toward my brother. After all, he was in shock too. As I released my pain in prayer, I received God's perfect provision through an insight. My brother was reacting to the realization that he would be walking into my mother's empty room, the place she had occupied when he had last spent time with her. His grief was as deep as mine. The next day, Curry left to go back to school, leaving Mabel and I together in Mom's room. I asked the nursing staff if they could take care of getting rid of the mattresses from the bed, and they assured me that they would. "Just leave it and we'll get it later," they told me. Mabe and I were getting ready to close the door to her room when two of the nursing assistants arrived and said, "We'll get the mattress now." My aunt and I walked back in the room, and I assisted them when they lifted the mattress off the bed frame. I heard a gasp from my aunt, and her hands flew up to her mouth, and then I saw her point under the bed. She said, "Mimi, look." I reached down and picked up off the carpet under my mother's bed 2 Skittles. They had been there a while. God had been expecting my unexpected. So this stewardship season, take God at His word. Go to Him. Open the door of your heart to Him. Answer His invitation. Live generously.